Okay, today we're going to see a little bit about playing with the new guideline foot that came from Baby Lock. And I'm going to start off showing you kind of why they needed the new guideline foot. So I just have a little quilt sandwich. It's not super thick. But if I go ahead and put this down here, I've got it saying that the shape is a line, it's the longest length. So I'll put you over here on my screen. It's got, the shape is a line, the length is the longest it'll go, the color is red. I might change that color because my thread is red. Let's go ahead and change that to blue. Actually, let's change it to green because my line is kind of a purple. That way it'll show up differently. All right. So I've got it in the main line position at the 0, 0. And I think that should be all that I need to do there. So I'm going to close that. I've got the 103, which is the center position. So let's go back to the needle here. See what we've got. Hopefully I don't move it around too much because I am going to just use my little key here to make it go a little bit. All right, we're going to slow this down. There we go. Sorry about that. So I've got that green line going right down the line of my stitching here. And supposedly that's exactly where it's supposed to go. So I've got it going right down my line that I made in the fabric. This is a regular presser foot. You can see it's a little bit off. So when I had it lined up here, but it went a little bit over. It definitely looks like it's a little bit over. And I don't know if that distortion is because I have a quilt sandwich. So I'm going to put the new foot on there. I got that today. Okay, so this is me putting on the new foot. I'm going to do exactly as they say, which they say to lock the screen. So I'm going to lock it as if I'm going to be changing the needle or the presser foot. And it says to raise the presser foot. I'm going to do that from the back. To go through this, I have to go over the top of the foot. And then I have to apply kind of a lot of pressure, it feels like. And I might not be doing this right. So Baby Lock, if you're there, let me know. This is what the pictures look like. I did get it clicked into place there. But it wasn't easy. That's a very strong spring. And it wasn't easy. But this bar needs to go on top. And it needs to clip into the foot right there. All right. So now we're going to test it again. And right now I had my little guidelines in there. So there's two little sets of guidelines that come with it. And where did I set the other one here? Well, one of them is the left needle and one of them is the center needle. And I think I set that one off to the side. But anyway, they're the same. Just one's the left needle and one's the center needle. It's got a couple little holes up here that fit into the bumps on the foot here to hold it in place. And we're going to use that one too. But for the moment, we're going to use just the guide beam. So, all right. So now I'm going to unlock my machine here. Make sure my foot is up. Slide my fabric under there. And now I'm going to line the guideline up again. Still looks like it's off to me. I'll try this again, but yeah. Sorry, I'm bumping the machine with my foot here. And that, because the guideline's on, you're seeing all these rainbow effects on here. I'm going to change the color of my guideline again. So hold on here, see if we can make it black. That still doesn't show up really well. Let's see what yellow looks like. How about orange? All right, we're going to go ahead and go with this color light blue here. I've got it lined up with the line that I made on my material. Put my presser foot down. And now it did shift a little bit, so as you can see, my line is now over there. So I'm going to put my presser foot back up. Having a little issue with that. Trying to get that line right on there because I want it to be right. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now the line I made on my fabric is lined up with the line on my, with the guideline. Now we're gonna stitch it, try and keep it along there. It's going, but it's pretty tight. I'm kind of looking down at the bottom more than the top to see where that lines up. And so by the time I get to the top up there, I'm kind of missing the mark, I think. Might have to do this over. We'll see. I'm going to try it again. But yeah. Let's look at it. It was hard to see it. It's less far away, and it started on it, and so I don't know if it's me or something else that kept it from showing up. So I'm going to make it a darker color, and we'll try it on another line here, and then we're going to see if it's user error here. So see, once I put that down, when I have it up, it's on the line. When I put the foot down, it kind of went off the line. And then it's too tight to move. So I'm kind of having to figure this out here. Like, there we go. Now I got it pretty much on the line. Now I got my foot down, got it on the line. Now let's see how it goes. I'm going to do my best here to not have it go off the line. It seems like it's just really kind of holding my fabric really, really, really tight. And I feel like it's not moving the right amount, but maybe it is. And I'm trying not to make the speed too high so I can keep control of it, but I'm still losing it a little bit. And I have to push my fabric over a little to kind of try and keep it on the line. And I'm still having a little trouble here. So this might require some practice. And I feel like every so often it's just kind of jamming up under there. Okay, stop, cut. Let's see how this one did. Better. And you can tell I just keep going off of the edge a little bit here. So yeah, I'm having a little bit of an issue there. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the guideline. Completely. Whew, that's better. And I'm going to put on the little plate that they sent. And this just goes underneath there, and I probably should have slid it in the little slots like that. And then it goes up over the little pins that are up in the top here. All right, I think it's all secured down. So now let's just say this is my line, and it changed the stitch, sorry about that. This is my line, that's 0, so if I want to stitch on the line, I should be able to have it at 0 there, right? So let's go up here. Let's see if it still kind of jumps when I put the presser foot down. No, it did better. That did much better. All right, so now we're gonna give it another try here. I feel like it's staying on those dotted lines better. We'll see what my stitching looks like. I feel like I'm still wiggling just a little bit, but for some reason I don't feel like I'm shifting it as much, and I don't know if it was just watching that other line. I don't know what the deal was, so we might try something else here in a minute. But let's see, stop, cut. All right, let's see what this one looks like. Oh, this one definitely looks better. So yeah, it's pretty much stayed on the line. It did a good job. It was at 0, so it stayed right on the line. I liked using that. It still holds your fabric a little tight, but I didn't shift like the other one did when I was trying to do that. So now what I think I'll try and do here is kind of a little dual thing here. We're going to turn that guideline back on. And I'm going to use this 1/4 inch here along my original line. So I'm going to leave the little guideline in there. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch along that, and then see how it does along the guideline. So after I've lined it up, my 1/4 inch is still on the purple. The guideline's off a little bit. It's still wiggling just a little bit there. So let's see how it goes. If I'm gonna watch these lines on the purple to keep straight, and then we'll see what this looks like. Did it do a pretty good job? Yeah, I feel like, I probably went off a little bit at the end here, but I feel like it did better using the little marks on the plate. I'm going to increase the length of my stitches a little bit, and maybe the speed just a little bit. But I do feel like it's stuck a little bit under that foot when I put in this very minimal quilt sandwich. Let's see what it looks like on the back. The stitching looks okay on the back. I'm looking at what it did though. So when you look at the stitching, when I just had my regular foot on it and I had it on 2.5, that's very much a 2.5. When you look at the stitching on this, because it was pulling it, that's very, very tight. That's not a 2.5. You can tell that even a little bit more on the back. So you can see this line of stitching. That's what I would want to see, and you see kind of what it actually did. So it's pulling it a little tight. I think this foot's a little bit tight. I'm not sure it's ready yet. I'm going to play with it a little more. I'm not sure that this is exactly the best option yet. We're going to play with one more line. It's a little hard to get my thread out of the way here, but we're going to go to 5/8 inch here. Kind of wish they would have put a 4/8 inch on there. I would have liked a 1/2 inch line, but I guess that would have interfered with that little dot up there. Tell you what, I'm going to go with this one that we used it without a guideline, so because I really can see my purple here better. And we're going to go ahead and do it with the 5/8 inch on the purple on my drawn line. Put my foot down. Okay, so that's still on this 5/8 inch is still on my purple drawn line. I don't know if you can see that very well. This is relatively straight on the 0 line, but let's see how this one goes. I did increase my stitch length. I increased it to a 3.5, and I did increase my speed of my machine. I just wanted to see if that did anything. So this is a 3.5. Kind of looks like the 2.5 on that side. It did straight compared to that line, so I really think I would probably always keep these guidelines markers in there because for some reason my eye likes that. I'm going to go ahead and put this back down to a 2.5. And give it another try right next to it. This is my last try here. So now I'm going to put it on the 3/8 inch line. So it's about a 1/4 inch away from that original line there. Put it down. Let's get stitching. Now this one should be a 2.5, so this one should look normal. Now I'm on the outer part of my fabric, so that might make a little bit of a difference. Maybe I'm getting used to the foot. That might make a little bit of a difference. And yeah, that actually looks like a decent sized stitch. For some reason, I'm going to have to try these inner ones again because these ones were so tight. And we're going to go ahead, and I know I said the last one was going to be my last one, but, you know, we're going to do one more for good measure. I'm going to do the 1/4 inch line away from this one. All right, last time. My lines are fading because it's air. I can still see them, but you probably can't. What I was really more concerned about, though, is the size of my stitches and how it was sticking in there. That looks much better. So I don't know. I guess I had my speed set really low and it was really grabbing tight. This looks much better. And it seemed to stay on the line. I might have to make another line here and try it one more time, maybe with a different color thread, and see what that looks like. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Made a couple new purple lines here so that we can give it a try. So, and I put in some blue thread. So I am going to turn on my positioning marker thing again. My guideline laser, or whatever we want to call that. I'm lining it up with the 1/4 inch mark on that guide. I'm putting the needle down. This is still off slightly here, but it's not horrible. My purple line is a little bit thick, so it's might very well be the thing that's off a little bit. Let's give it a try. My big thing was that I wanted to see how the stitches turn out. This isn't a very thick quilt sandwich. It's just one layer of batting, and obviously I'm having a little bit of an issue moving it along here. I'm going to keep going a little bit. Sorry, I know that rainbow effect is not helping anyone. So let's see, how did it do? I got a little skinny. As we came down here, I got a little bit skinnier, it looks like. I think it just starts to lose a little bit of control as it goes through. Stitch size, still much better than it was doing. I don't know what I was doing wrong or if it just had to adjust the foot. But now we're going to do a 0 line. And I think I'm going to take out this sticker and see if I can do a 0 line. Because really, that's my goal. I just want to use this. Alright, I got it lined up there. And when I put the foot down, it's not lined up again. And so I don't know. It's lined up down here. And I don't know, should I lift it up? And Baby Luck, tell me if I'm doing this wrong, because I'm having to move it. So now I move my line. I move my line, so when I put it down, it's pretty much under there. Okay, now I'm hitting start. I'm going to try and, oh, never mind. I pulled out the needle thread. Let's do that, huh? Raise my foot. Rethread. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so now it's pretty much on my line. Let's try this again. All right, I think I'm doing something. I don't know. It's staying on down at the bottom, but up at the top it's going wacko. So I decided just to watch the bottom. Now it did pretty good just watching the bottom. I know I gotta get this where you guys can see this. It did good. It's better stitching than that one. And it stayed on my line. I was just watching the bottom down here then, and not up here where it was kind of like going, off to the side. So one more time. I know I said that many times now. So bottom is on. The top is kind of on. When I put that down, it goes off a little bit, but let's just see what it does. Now I'm going to keep it like this. So I'm just going to watch the bottom because maybe I don't care that that happens up there. I'm just going to watch the bottom of my guideline marker of that little laser. Maybe that's all I care about. I am wiggling a little bit, but you know, we'll see. So, it's hard to get this under here and let you see this. Let's turn that guideline marker off. Ooh, I am so sorry I hit that for you. Turning that guideline marker off so you can see it now. And I guess that's what I was supposed to do. So ignore when you put that foot down. So I lined it up, right? I'm going to turn it on again just for a moment. I know it creates all of this rainbow effect for everyone here. I'm lining it up. I put my foot down and it goes off up there. And let's see if you can see a better color of it if I put it in red maybe. So you can see it goes off up there. It's down, it's on up here, but it's not up there. And it seems that when I do that, as long as I watch it down here, it does a pretty good line. It does an okay stitch. So we'll say that that works okay. I guess there's only so many things you can do. I'm going to put my little mark back on here again. So I've got to fit it under its little spots here and on its little tabs. And we're going to raise my presser foot. And we're going to do a little line next to the line. And I think I still like using both. See if we can do it moving it out this way. I think I still like using both. Better than one. I went off a little bit down here, you can tell. This foot might be a little bit of a challenge to use. I know some of you only use the side of your machine for embroidery, so it might not be that big of a deal. It does seem to make the guideline, as long as you don't care about how it lines up at the beginning here. With your thing where you set it here and then you put it here and it goes off up at the top. It still seems like as long as you just watch this bottom part, it does a straight line. It does it pretty good. So, well, I think it solved the issue that we originally had. So when I used just my regular presser foot, I'm going to have to turn this thing off again because you cannot see what's going on. So this was using my regular presser foot and the guideline. It was way off. When I used the guideline and just kind of went along using the guideline only, that's what that line was, and it did a pretty good job. I'll have to play with it just a little bit more, but yeah, it seems like that works better. I kind of like the lines on it to just give me a little confidence, I guess, that I'm doing what I need to do. So when you put that foot down, it seems to angle it off a little bit, and you have to trust that the bottom part of it is what you're looking at. Or if you have this thing on, I'm just lining that up with my line. So if you're doing that kind of line work and you need some kind of precision and not having your foot bunch up, that looks like that's kind of how you have to do it. Thanks. Bye.